Good morning. Today is Wednesday, May 6th, and I wanted to talk this morning a little bit about hope and optimism, how those two things are similar to one another, how they are a little bit different, and how we need both in our lives. Here in North Carolina, we learned yesterday that we are about to move into phase one of our grand reopening. And there is a plan of how we are to move into phase one and to measure the success of what phase one is supposed to do for us, and then hopefully move into phase two and three and four and however many phases there are. And I think we can look at these plans optimistically based upon the facts and the concreteness of the plans. Optimism is the thing that we look at that way. We look at the details, we look at the specifics, and we are optimistic that all of the work that has gone into it is correct, and that the assumptions are correct, and that it will be successful. Hope is the thing that comes from within us, that tells our gut or informs our mind and our heart that, yeah, this is going to work out. This will be okay. Both of them, however, need some sort of contingency plan. If phase one doesn't go the way it was predicted, well, what then? Is there a phase two? Do we go back to phase zero? What is the plan? If things don't go our way in life, if we don't get the result we wanted from something, where then do we place our hope? How do we continue to have hope when things don't go the way we planned them? I think the answer to both of those questions, both of those scenarios, is that we have to have trust in something greater than either the plan or the hope that we had in our own wants and needs. And so we place our hope and our optimism into something even greater than either one of those things individually. And I hope that we can place our hope and our optimism into God, into that great flow of the Holy Spirit that is not bound into one plan, is not confined to one person, it's not confined to one region, but it binds all of us together, brings us together, and allows us to do things like both make plans and act them, but to continue to pray for one another and hold one another in our hearts so that we can feel each other's presence even when we are apart. And so as we begin to move into a time of reopening and perhaps re-engaging with one another in new and creative ways, let us continue to be optimistic that the work that is being done is true and correct. But let's also be very hopeful that God is indeed leading us into new and creative ways of being with one another, of looking out for one another, of opening our hearts and being compassionate and loving and kind toward one another. For the true measure of success of any phase or any plan must be how we ultimately treat one another and care for one another, not only in the end, but along the way. There's a poem by Emily Dickinson that I believe is entitled Hope, that says, "Hope is the thing with feathers that perches within my soul, never asking a crumb of me." Well, my friends, have hope today. Let hope enlarge and encircle your soul, so that you may know that I am in you and you are in me, and that God is in all of us. Will you pray with me, please? Holy God, draw me closer to you, that I may better know and do thy will. Amen.